So welcome to episode, I don't remember, 13 of Zeo Fucks Given.
Cool.
I was so proud of it when I come up with a name for the podcast until I realized there is a Kevin Hart special called Zero Fucks Given.
No, but it has your unique twist on it. So it's
I know,
perfect.
but when people search for it, Google will be say, "Do you mean Zero Fucks Given?"
Yeah.
It's special by one of the biggest comedian in the world, Kevin
That's
Hart. So that's pretty bad. But damage is already done. Today our guest is Daniel. How to pronounce your last name?
Alvarez. Daniel
Alvarez.
Alvarez.
Daniel Alvarez. You're the best chair comic I've ever seen. And
Thank you.
I have maybe 3.
Yeah, there's actually a few. There's few in LA, so
Oh, yeah?
I'll take it. Yeah.
Do you have when I say chair comic, it's comic on a weird chair and you talk about your experiences. You're very funny, actually.
Thank you.
And not just because,
Yeah.
what you talked about. That too, but but you know what I'm talking about? You know?
Yeah.
Not gonna name names, but they're little people comics that they talk about being little, and they're fine. So, which tells you that's not all what it takes. You still need to be funny.
Yeah. I think the most important thing is just being likable.
Yeah.
Regardless of if you're just a normal person or you have some kind of issue, as long as you're likable, I think that's like the main thing.
Okay, so how many of you are in LA that you know of?
So that I know of personally, I know 4.
Yeah.
I know the City Entertainer, Elias Cepeda. I know Gabriel Gomez, and I know I think most people know Joey Urel. And then there's like a few that I don't even remember his name. Yeah, but I don't like. He's kind of like not in the scene. He just does a mic here and there. Like,
why are they mostly Hispanic?
I have no. Well,
I just realized that when you started to say the names, like,
names,
wait a minute.
We get shot a lot, you know.
Really?
Well, Elias got shot. Yeah. And,
I didn't hear like Alan Chang or John
well, Joey
Smith.
Urel, he's a white dude.
Okay, good.
He's probably the
Represent.
He's the guy that's kind of like the most viral. He's like a roast battle guy. Yeah.
Even among the chair comic subsets, being white is still very helpful.
I guess.
Isn't that annoying?
Not for me. I mean, I've had a pretty good.
I know who you are.
Career type thing. Yeah. So I'm, and it's all love. I don't really hate on anybody. I want everybody to be successful. So I'm not.
Do you have a Facebook chat group?
There is. There's definitely a few actually.
Yeah.
There's like Facebook has its own, but there's also other random like wheelchair support groups, you could say, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wheelchair support groups. What do you usually talk about in those groups?
I'm actually not very active on them. I took this weird stance where I especially like the first 10 years of my injury, where I was like, I'm not going to be a part of the wheelchair community, you know? I'm just going to do it myself. So they talk about everything though. They talk about, things you go through in a chair, or like a lot of people ask advice for like newer people, because there's like people getting injured all the time.
Yeah.
So a lot of those people kind of ask advice to people that are been doing it for a while or been in a chair for a while.
What is your first reaction when Luigi shot that guy? Because I'm sure for you have to deal with a whole system more than most people, like the medical insurance system, right?
Did
funny you pop a beer at home?
Not really, because funny enough for me, it was like I knew that guy wasn't a professional shooter.
Yeah.
Like the gun that he used and the way I was like, that guy has not done this before.
But he succeeded.
Yeah, well, he did, but
he's like a little bit clumsy, but the outcome is what matters.
Yeah, for sure. He got the job done, I guess you could say. But I've, even in that sense, haven't had a lot of big issues when it comes to like Medicare or like the medical system and them covering stuff for me. Like I've never had a big issue, so I didn't celebrate it one way
so
or
you're
another.
pro insurance company.
Not really, but I was like, it is what it is. It's sad. I mean, somebody died, somebody's dad, somebody's husband died, so it's I don't feel like celebrating that. It's like necessarily
it's
like
very I mean, you're the sensible one, and that is a sensible opinion or answer, but I was pretty shocked about how unanimously everyone is celebrating.
Yeah.
Like, I understand there are a lot of people have problems with the system and everything, but it's to the point that, they're reacting like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because there's a lot of illnesses that kill people, like cancer, and so there's a lot of families that have lost people that didn't get. Actually, this is a crazy story. It has nothing to do with Luigi, but in a way it does. So there's this guy in 1998 or 1999. His name was Daniel Jones. His wife died of cancer because they didn't cover some of her medication. Yeah. And to protest that, he went on one of the freeways, like the off ramps. I think it was the 105 off ramp. And he was in his truck. He had a gun. He put out a big sign on the freeway. Yeah. And then the news was covering it. So it was like a news helicopter covering him. Yeah. And he had a bunch of like Molotov cocktails in his truck. Full Rambo. Yeah. Yeah. So he goes in his truck. Like, so he lays out this sign that said like something about the insurance or the whatever insurance company or medical, whatever. And then he goes in his truck, lights a cigarette, and that lights the you know, and his truck gets on fire, and he had his dog in there, and his dog burned to death. He runs out, takes all his clothes off, goes back to his truck, gets out a shotgun, and then blows his brains out on live television. Jesus Christ. And this incident is the reason why there's a delay on the news feeds now, because it was like that's live. Yeah, it was live. It was like at 3 or 4 p.m. So like a bunch of kids were watching. So then they're scarred for life for sure. I mean, I wasn't. I was kind of like, that was crazy. Could I see that again? Jesus, you saw it? I saw it live. Yeah. You saw that live? I saw it live. Yeah. Holy shit! How old were you? I was like 11, maybe. Wow. 11, 12. So this incident is the reason why there's like a 3 or 5 second delay on news feeds now. Yeah. And it was the whole purpose of it was because of his wife, and he was fighting, you know, like an insurance company. So when you were 11, so that must be, how old are you now? I just turned 39. You just so month. That's like more than 20 years ago. Yeah, it was a while back. Wow, I've never. But it's a vivid. I remember it clearly. Shit. I actually went back last year and just kind of like remembered about it, and then went back and found the video online, and it's crazy. I remember like back in the days, when I say back in the days, is maybe 15, 20 years ago, the internet is just a wild west. You can find all kinds of fucked up snuff video of just people's head getting chopped off, you know, blast open, all that. I mean, you still can if you want to find that stuff. You could definitely find it. I know, but back in the days, those videos are... Two Girls, One Cup is one of the more vanilla ones. There's way worse things. Some people say that was fake. I don't know. Oh yeah? Yeah, I heard about a lot of that. That definitely scarred our memory too. Yeah, wow. Yeah, so, I don't know. So the dude you were talking about remind me of, you know, the Rage Against the Machine album cover. Is this I forgot which country, maybe like Cambodia, whatever. Yeah. There's the monk that's protesting and is just burning fire. It's pretty punk rock, if you ask me. It's pretty tragic. It's a statement. It's definitely a statement, you know. So, okay, I do want to talk to you about this. You said the insurance thing you didn't really have any trouble for it, but like for you, it happened. You weren't born with it. Right. Yeah. Right. So this is a very crude question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Not running. Do you think it's better to be born with, you know, being paraplegic, which means you've never walked a single day in your life, versus you walked like you walked for many years and something happened and then you become paraplegic? Which scenario do you think is better? I think my scenario, I was 21 when I got shot. Your scenario is better. Yeah, I feel like I've actually had conversation with other people that, so I have he's not necessarily my friend. It's just like another dude in a chair that I know. He got... I like that. I mean, he's not my friend. I don't say he's my friend because we never hang out or anything. But I talk to him because he's on the chair. I'm just in passing. Yeah. So, that was kind of mean. Yeah. So he got... I think his mom ran him over when he was 2 years old. Jesus. So all he's known is life in a chair. Okay. And then I have a friend she was 8-year-old and she got shot. And I've had this conversation with them where I asked, would you have preferred, you know, experiencing more things and then losing it? And both of them, that was their answer that they gave, that they would have rather experienced, because growing being born with it or growing up with it when you're like really young, and then you don't experience a lot of things. Like my friend, for instance, she got shot when she was 8 years old, so she never experienced like relationships, able-bodied. She never experienced like sex or any of those things, able-bodied. So she doesn't know any better. So she, whenever we have conversations, that's kind of like a big topic of hers, is like, what was it like, and what was your experience? And yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, she definitely was like, I would have rather experienced things and lost them than to not experience it all. And then, because another thing that happened with her specifically is she went through puberty with her injury. So her spine developed wrong because you're growing. So she has like really bad scoliosis from it.
Jeez.
So yeah, and then I feel like people are intimidated as far as like when it comes to relationships and sex with people with disabilities. So I, at least, and I started fairly early. I lost my virginity when I was like 13.
Right. But you were able-bodied then.
Yeah. So I got to experience like a bunch of those things.
And the smile on your face tells me.
Yeah. It's like,
pretty good.
Yeah.
So how's your sex life now?
I mean, it's cool. Like I'm out here.
What's your favorite position?
Well, that's like a joke that I have where I'm like, I used to be smashing and now I get smashed, you know.
Okay.
I'm just
is that the only option? Or
kind of. There's a very obvious being the bottom, but they have like these swinging chairs.
Yeah.
That are kind of for
like sex swings.
Kind of. So like I can sit on it and kind of like.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
do you have that set up in your place?
Nah, because my place is so small that I'm like, where would I put this thing? And if it's out somewhere, I have to explain it to people. And
why do you have to explain? It's a swing.
No, it's like it's like
for
a
your
chair
inner child.
I'm just like, I just like swinging. Yeah. So I mean, I have fun with it. It's all about what you do with it, you know. As far as like
you can still feel.
I can't feel.
You cannot.
So no, I have a T3, T4 complete spinal cord injury, and basically what that means is I can't move or feel from like my chest down.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you can't feel, do you still get pleasure from it?
Visually,
psychologically.
Yeah, like I mean, who doesn't enjoy having like a naked you know?
Right.
But
do you still watch porn?
Not really, but I was never really into porn.
Okay.
Like growing up, I think I was just kind of having enough sex growing up that I wasn't really.
Wow, you just maxed out your.
I mean, hey, I was a wild kid.
You're the first guy who talks like, I had too much sex. I'm good. I'm good.
It's funny because I remember right after I got shot, I remember thinking like, well, I had a bunch of fun, you know?
Yeah.
And then now looking back at 39, I was like, man, I was a baby. What was I talking about, you know? But I did. I mean, I had a bunch of girlfriends. I was that guy that was never single. I was always in a relationship. So I kind of like from 14 to when I got shot, I was basically never single more than like a month.
Jeez.
So I was having a lot of
player
sex out here. Yeah, I was out here.
You're out there
not
slaying.
necessarily a player, you know. I was like, I would get in like these 1-2 year long relationships, and I was faithful for the most part. Up until at the end, I would be like, all right, time to move on. I would kind of start in a way kind of looking for the next.
We'll talk about cheating later because I did a lot of research on cheating. I have a lot of statistics, and we'll talk about that. But back to what you were talking about, do you feel it's actually worse for females on a wheelchair to experience like somehow sex, like a sex life wise? Do you think it's more difficult for them than a male because you can't just sit? I don't know. I'm imagining it.
I think for females it might be a little easier because normally for guys it's like we're the ones that have to approach.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can do more with a girl in a chair and an able-bodied dude. You can like really toss her around, you know, and I can't toss anybody around anymore. Around? Yeah. And
like based on your conversations with other people in the same like circle, like what is their feedback? Like do they feel like it's a little bit easier as a just for like relationships as a man or women?
It's one of those things where it just depends on the person. I feel because there's
the face you're saying.
I mean, like for me, I, like a real common question that I get asked is is it hard dating for me? And in my experience, it hasn't really been.
Right.
Because I feel like from really early on, kind of women always were like attracted to me, or like weren't afraid to approach me. So I've kind of been lucky in that sense, where I don't really have to work really hard to get women's attention. But I feel like a lot of people do. There's like, I mean, confidence is a big thing, and for me, I know that my looks help me a lot. So I in that sense, it's been not as difficult. But I do know guys that kind of have a hard time, that are in chairs, that have a hard time with relationships and that whole thing, because they're just not as confident. So I feel like it's just like a person to person thing. But I know female friends too that are in chairs that also kind of have a hard time with dating, and I have friends that are wild, and we've gone out and like they're hooking up with like 2 or 3 guys, you know, the same night. So
damn,
I'm like,
that's a video in the making,
right? Yeah. I'm like, let's go out and record that shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think incel groups should hire you as their coach. Fuck those PUA guy. They need you.
Well, the thing is, for me, like I said, I know that for me specifically, my looks have helped me a lot, because it's funny, because I remember before my injury, I used to think like, man, I have game, you know, I'm out here getting it.
Yeah.
And then after my injury, I realized, it was mainly women were just kind of throwing themselves at me, and I wasn't really working to start relationship or to meet people. So it was interesting. I had to make that adjustment, because before my injury, whenever I could go out almost anywhere and women would kind of like flirt with me. I wasn't really. And one of the big adjustments that I had to make was that not having as much attention from women after my injury.
Yeah. You have to have a good personality now.
Yeah, you have to have game, you know. You have to be willing to talk and be funny and
welcome
put
to the
yourself
real
out
world,
there, right?
bitch.
I was like, God damn, I had it so good. What the fuck? I did not take advantage of that. Yeah. So I feel for me, I mean, I think it goes both for people that are able-bodied and people with disabilities. I think it's just a person-to-person thing. Yeah. I think confidence goes a long way, and being able to have conversations with the opposite sex matters. I feel like I have 6 sisters. So I feel like that kind of prepared me. I'm comfortable with women. I thought
that would turn you gay. I'm just kidding.
Nah, that helped me, because a lot of my sister's friends were like, your brother's cute. You know? So okay. And then I always I grew up with women, and I was kind of raised by women, so I'm really comfortable with the opposite sex. So for me, it's like not really hard to talk to women, but I have met guys that are like, yeah, bro, I don't know, I just don't know how to start a conversation.
How do you feel when you see an able-bodied person pull into a handicapped parking space?
I want to shoot them in the face.
And then when you ask them, you're like, I have OCD.
Yeah. So I try not to judge people, because you never know what people.
You've seen it, right? Especially in LA. For sure.
I mean, it's happened to me where, I mean, my car has handicap plates, but it didn't. Sometimes there was times where my car didn't have handicap plates, and I just had the little placard that you hang on your rear view mirror. So I've had moments where I'll get in my car, take it off, and just be sitting there for a little bit, and then someone will be like, "Why are you in this?" Yeah. And
what a triumph
like,
reveal when you open the door. It's like, take a gander at this.
Yeah, look at my chair, bro.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, one time I went to Subway, and then I got my sandwich, got in my car, took off the placard, and I was just sitting in my car, and this car pulled up next to me, and it was like this guy and his grandma in the car. Yeah. So I guess he was like, man, fuck this guy. Because he was like taking her chair out, and he was like slamming it, like making sure that I like noticed.
He said, look at my chair. I deserve this.
Literally. And then he like went inside and took her inside and came back outside and was just like outside, like looking at me. Yeah. And then like I said, I had already got my sandwich, and just to mess with him, I took my chair out of the car, and I was like, yeah, bitch, I'm also in a chair, you know?
You make sure you move it out really clumsy.
Yeah.
Just like bumping into everything. You know? Just that sounds like a Curb Your Enthusiasm, like comedy scene.
Yeah. Really, I was like, that's why you shouldn't judge people, you know? Because you never know what people are going through. Sometimes people look able-bodied and like there's nothing wrong with them, but they can have something.
I confess, I I've done that.
Yeah.
Only, okay, in my defense, it's still pretty bad, but only when I need to drop off a package at UPS. And I'm like, I'll be there in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never taken the space for more than 30 seconds. But I've done it once or twice.
That's a fat ticket, so just be careful with that, because that's like...
No, now I feel bad
Yeah.
admitting that to you. It's
No,
like...
it's not, I mean, whatever.
It's like a teenager
I feel like everybody's
admitting
done it
they
at some point.
masturbated in front of the priest. I'm sorry. I've done that.
And they liked it?
Tell me more.
That's wild.
How do you feel about, like... Because this was a debate like a few years ago, right? How do you feel about able-bodied actors portraying like someone on a wheelchair when they're totally healthy? Like, for example, the character in Glee, that's many years ago, right? The actor, what?
Or Drake in
What do you mean Drake? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he played a wheelchair character. He gets shot in
that was when he was a kid, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
like
let's give him a pass because it's little baby Drake, you know. Now Drake, that's different. And then I think Bryan Cranston, that movie with Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
So they're under, he's a very good actor. They're under a lot of attack. What do you think about it?
I'm like 50-50 on it.
Yeah.
And there's reasons for, like, I know how the movie industry works. I've been on sets and kind of checked out how. So logistically, I understand that it's way easier to just get someone that's able-bodied because it'll be easier. But I also feel like if you have the opportunity to give somebody that role that does have a disability, you probably should.
Yeah.
But I can understand why they would just use an able-bodied actor, especially someone that already has a name and is kind of like known. Yeah. Because you still have to sell tickets, you know.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand both sides of it. But like I said, if you can give somebody with a disability the role, I think you should.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember that there's a movie, I forgot the guy, it's some handsome guy, and it's the actress who played Khaleesi in Game of Thrones. It's also about like her having this romantic comedy, like this it's like a romantic movie about a super hot guy on the chair. I was like, wow.
I don't think
Yeah, it's like a Netflix movie. I've seen it. I don't remember the guy's name. I was like, that guy's pretty hot. I was like, man, that's sad.
Hey, there's some good-looking wheelchair people out here.
Yeah, I know, but like, it's no difference. Like, yeah, we want to shine a line upon this group of people, but he gotta be fucking hot with a six pack and have a jawline. Like you know, it's no different.
Yeah.
Wow. So when you talk about, you kind of understand it because feel like movie sets is logistically is a little bit more simpler and easier to hire someone able-bodied. How is it for you in the job market? I know you're a comedian, so it's a little bit, we don't have an HR department, we don't have a guild, is whatever it is, but like, have you worked like other jobs? Has it been, no? No,
I worked for U-Haul when I got shot, and that was like my last real job.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I've Ubered. I've done Uber, and I just throw my seat in the front passenger seat.
Okay.
And if it's like a 4-party ride, I just have them throw my chair in the trunk and make it work. But other than that, I haven't really applied to a real job.
But do you know if the job seeking is potentially more difficult? Or?
I feel like it is. I feel like it's. Because even like jobs that you might think like, oh, I could do this. Let's
like
say
an office job, right?
Yeah, it'd be. But there's things where you have to take into consideration.
Yeah.
So I could see how it'd be like a little difficult to find something. Like
because I know there's different quotas for like big companies. I think when the company reaches a certain size, you have to employ this amount of like, you know, disabled people. Yeah. But then on the other hand, I've heard a lot of stories about like it's in reality it's actually really difficult to get a job and everything. Yeah.
Which is because you like even a simple like let's say if you want to work for like Foot Locker or something, like you're still not gonna be able to reach some of those shoes and on the, you know, like there's even little things like that. Yeah. You
have a joke about like shoes. Is that your joke?
Well, I say my shoes. Why are my shoes so dirty? I say that. I've been in a chair 18 years, and to this day, one of the biggest questions that I ask myself is like, why are my shoes so dirty, or have scuff marks, or, you know.
Are you a shoe guy?
Kind of. Like that's actually a weird compliment that I get because I have like some nice Jordans.
Yo, nice shoes.
Yeah, so some people will be like, "Oh, at least your shoes never get dirty," and I'm like, "Bro, I'll run through mud with my shoes just to walk, bro. What are you talking about? That's a weird compliment, you know." They're like, your shoes don't get creases.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, bro, come on.
The creases.
Yeah. Because I don't step. I don't do the little, yeah.
So do you collect shoes?
Not really. Like I have. So last year I was like, man, I've always wanted certain pairs of Jordans, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna get them. Like, so last year I kind of bought like some of the Jordans that I've always wanted, and then here and there I'll like keep an eye out for certain ones, but I wouldn't consider myself like a big shoe person.
Do your shoes like last longer?
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's one of the rare benefits.
Yeah, I guess, but they still get dirty. Like I had just got a brand new pair of some 11s, the 11 Gratitudes. They came out last year, and the second time that I wore them, I dropped spaghetti on them.
Oh god.
So it was all bad. Oh, and then I actually scratched the first pair that I got. I ended up, so when I got them, I got 3 pairs because I was gonna keep one and sell 2, and then I use hand controls to drive. So it's like these metal attachment that attach to the brake and the gas pedals, but they have like sharp corners. So when I was driving, I got somewhere and I was pulling my foot out to take it out and jump out the car, and I just like totally scratched one like really bad. So I could still, I still scratch them.
You can still make your shoes dirty.
Yeah. Well, it was worse than that. It was like a big scratch. So I just aesthetically, I was like, I can't wear these shoes. So I ended up selling those and then keeping another pair of them. Yeah, but.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about something I've already asked you, and I've seen you do the joke multiple times on stage, which is really funny. What happened?
What happened? I was at a Halloween party.
Yeah.
And like the people that I was with kind of ended up getting in a fight with another group of people. Yeah. And so I'll just kind of give you the story. So we were at this.
So, okay, just for clarification, this is the story. So how did you get paralyzed?
I got shot.
Yeah. You got shot.
I was just at Spider-Man too, which makes it just worse.
Okay. So you're in the party. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we actually were already leaving. We were with like 10 people. We were in 2 cars. And then we tried to go find beer because we went at like 1:50. We went to the store. We were in Northridge, and this was in 2007. So you couldn't just like GPS like market near me. You had to like look for it. So we went to go try to find beer, and we didn't. And when we got back, the driver of the car that I was in, he parked on the wrong side of the street. So he was kind of facing the wrong way. Yeah. And then we went to go get everybody else that was with us at the party. And then we all came back to the car. And when we got back to the car, we were kind of like blocked in. Some cars had gotten there or were leaving. So we were blocked in there. So we were waiting in the car for maybe like 5-6 minutes. And then the driver of my car, they call it power braking when you burn rubber. So he did that. And as soon as he did that, one of the car that was blocking us, like this dude came out of the car and he started saying something to him. And then he came over to the driver's side, and then they just started fighting. And then my sister was in the car, and then my other sister was in the other car. So I was like, I don't want to do this right now, So I tried to get out the car because I was going to just be like, nah, bro, like, let's just dip, And I couldn't. The door was stuck for whatever reason. I couldn't get out. So I was in the back of the car trying to get out for maybe like 30 seconds. And then finally I was able to get out. And as soon as I stepped out, somebody hit me with something over the head. And they hit me 3 times because it cut me 3 times. Jeez. And I didn't know what it was at the time, but it was a gun. So they hit me. I guess I blacked out for a second. And then the other car that we were with, they kind of realized that something was going on with us. So they came over. And then basically everybody was just fighting everybody. So they kind of like, I guess it was more than one person. One guy hit me, and then I guess a few people were like jumping me basically. So then they got those people off of me, and then I stood up. Like I got up, and then my head felt really cold. So I went like that, and then my hand was just full of blood. Jeez. So then I got like super mad. Like, you know what, how that saying, I saw red. I saw red. You saw red. Yeah. So, and then I was like fighting back then. I was like getting into boxing, and I was like, I could fight. Yeah. I grew up fighting people. So I was like, well, now somebody's going to get their ass whooped, So I started looking, and the first guy that wasn't with us, I hit him. And then he fell on the sidewalk, and I fell on top of him. And I was just hitting this guy, just hitting him. And then I started hearing, stop, stop, stop. He has a gun. And then stop, stop, stop. You're going to kill him. It was my older sister telling me to like, stop. Yeah. So then I heard that and I stood up. And then I never saw the gun. Like things just happened so quick that I never actually saw the gun. So I stood up and then I was like, man, like my shirt was like covered in blood. So I was like, yo, we need to leave.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, we need to get out of here. So I went to go find the driver of the car that I was in. So I found him and then we were crossing the street and I guess the dude that I had fought jumped in the car that they were in and he put it in reverse and tried to run us over.
Jeez.
So we kind of like ran out the way of that and then he just jumped out of the car and then just started shooting. And he shot at me 3 times and the first bullet hit me. So, and it paralyzed me instantly. Like I didn't even feel anything. Nothing. I didn't feel pain. I didn't feel anything at all.
You just feel like numb?
Nothing. Like not even, I wouldn't even say numb because it was nothing.
Okay.
I say that I've been shot and I still don't know what it feels like to be shot, you know, because I didn't. It's
probably a blessing that you didn't know.
Well, I think that saved my life because, like I said, the first bullet shot me, and then when I fell, and then my first instinct was to get up and try to like fight him more.
Yeah.
So I would have walked into 2 more bullets. So if he hadn't paralyzed me, he probably would have killed me.
So your paralyzation basically saved your life in a way.
In a way, yeah. Because I still almost died.
Yeah.
So the bullet paralyzed me. He still shot at me 2 more times, and the driver of the car that I was in tackled him, took his gun away, but he had already unloaded it on me. So once I realized, okay, I can't walk, there's something wrong, I was just like, just get me to the hospital. Mm-hmm. And then they threw me in a car, and then like we were taking red lights. It was crazy. And we got to the hospital. I never blacked out. Like I stayed calm the whole time. Like I didn't even cry. It was crazy.
But what's the first reaction you have once you wake up and then people tell you, hey, look, you're never going to be walking again. Well,
I never passed out until I got to the hospital. Once I got to the hospital, I was like, okay, I'm at the hospital. I could pass out. Because I was losing blood. So I was cut on the head. My bullet hole was bleeding, and the bullet hit my spinal cord, and then it split in 2, and one part went through my lung, and then circled my heart. So I was bleeding internally, like my lung was getting full of blood. So if we had called an ambulance, when there's a shooting, the cops have to clear the scene before the ambulance can even get to you. So they have to make sure that there's no more, the shooter is not there anymore. They have to like literally like clear the scene in a way. So if we had called an ambulance, I probably would have died. I would have probably choked on my own blood. So because they threw me in the car and just took me to the hospital, that kind of saved my life. So then I passed out, and when I woke up to my younger cousin asking the doctor. He was like, so he's never gonna have sex again? And I was like, what the hell?
That's the first thing you heard?
Yeah, I woke up to that. I was like, y'all should have let me die, bro. What the hell? And then the doctor came over to me when he saw that I was awake. And then he was like, can you move your big toe? And I couldn't. And then he was just like, you're going to be paralyzed for the rest of your life.
Wow.
And then I was still kind of naive to what a spinal cord injury was. I thought like those like Enter the Dragon kind of.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was like, you know, mind over matter. You know, I was just like, you just got to concentrate real hard. And then, you know, but how I tell people is like, my injury is like breaking your hand and trying to fix it with your mind. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They need to either like find a cure. They need to figure out a way to repair nerves.
Neuralink, baby.
Well, hopefully, you know, or something where they bridge the injury. So, because what a spinal cord injury is like when you're going to walk, your brain sends a signal to your legs to get up and walk.
Yeah.
But because I have my injury, the signal goes down, but it stops at my injury. Same thing. Like if I hurt my leg, like it sends a signal up, but at my level of injury, it stops the signal. Yeah, basically. So they need to find a way to jump that injury, like bridge over it, or literally repair the nerves. So I think, I don't know, in the future they'll figure out
like
something.
A half android, right?
Hey, I'll take it as long as I can feel.
It's like if it's like you have an electric motherboard to solve the issue of the signal transferring, then potentially that'd be kind of cool. You'd be like the Terminator.
I mean, at this point, I've been in a chair 18 years, and then that comes with certain things like my muscles have atrophied, so like they're a lot skinnier than normal. So,
can you still be fat on a wheelchair?
Yeah, definitely. There's fat.
How do you stay?
I got a little stomach.
But you're pretty in shape. How do you stay in shape?
I mean, I do work out, but I just really have really good genes. I say.
Do you work like the pull-ups?
I free weights.
Okay.
Like I use like weights and
You're the reason why I really should work out. I have no excuse.
I mean, I try to be healthy, but yeah, you can get. That's one of the things that they worry about in the hospital, like that you get big. Like my chair now is a 13-inch chair, and my first chair was a 15-inch chair because that's like the average size. Because they thought I was probably gonna gain weight.
Yeah. To future proof.
Yeah. So just to make sure my chair wasn't too small for me, they gave me like a bigger chair. But I basically stayed pretty small. So now I have a smaller chair. But I think for me, I have like a really super fast metabolism, and that really helps a lot.
Right.
Yeah. I always joke around and I say that I have like the perfect body for a spinal cord injury. Because I'm thin, I have really long arms. I was really athletic. Arms. That helps for transfers.
Do you have the clippers at home to just like clip things?
No, sorry, like the grabber.
Yeah,
like
the grabber.
Nah, not really. I kind of, if I need to get something like.
You really have long arms then.
I do. I mean, I have like a 6'2" wingspan.
Wow.
And I'm 5'9".
Like a gibbon. I love gibbons.
Yeah.
By the way.
I have like orangutan arms.
Orangutan.
It helps though. It helps with like transfers. Because you have to put your hand and like throw your body over, so it really helps.
You have a swimmer's body, right?
I guess
that's one of the things is their wingspan.
Yeah.
Interesting. And I think I asked you this question before. I ask you again because there's a study. I've read it. When I read it, I was very confused about their conclusion. I'm like, this is weird. So there's a study showing that an able-bodied person who wins the lottery and someone who's paraplegic, after 1 year, their happiness level is exactly the same. Mm-hmm. Has that been the experience for you?
Yes and no. For me, it took me a while. I think overall, to really accept my injury and try to like move on with my life, it took me almost 10 years.
Right.
Like I was never really super depressed at any point. Yeah. Like, I mean, we all have bad days, but I never was like, I want to kill myself or anything like that. Right. But for sure, so something that happened with me was right after my injury, I went online and I was like, whoa, is there going to be a cure for this? And they were saying like in 5 years, there'll probably be a cure. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I could wait 5 years, I'll just play Xbox and kind of like bullshit for 5 years. And then 5 years went by and then they were like, well, in another 5 years. And then I realized that they've been saying in 5 years for like the past 25 years.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I kind of have to just try to live my life. So, and then like I said, I was like, I had the mentality of like, I'm not going to be part of the wheelchair community.
You're not going to be part of, but you are.
I mean, I am, but in the sense of like I'm not gonna be
one of those people.
Yeah, kind of.
Interesting.
That's such a guy thing. I feel like it's like
no,
ego.
No. I understand what you're saying. It's
like
whenever this is a female only mic.
There you go.
I was like,
yeah. I guess in a way it was like I was saying like I'm not gonna be part of this community because I'm not gonna be here that long. Type.
Yeah.
That was the mentality.
You're like passing by. You're like I'm gonna. Yeah.
That was. I guess that's what I was thinking. Like I'm not gonna be here that long. So. Yeah, it is. I don't know.
And you say it takes 10 years for you to.
I mean, it took. I would say to really try to live my life to the best of my ability. It took me like 8 to 10 years. I would say.
How long did it take for you to kind of accept it? You said the first 5 years you waited. You're like, this is gonna be a cure. Yeah. And then it's another 5.
So I would say it's somewhere in between 8 and 10 years where I was like, all right, I can't wait around. I have to live my life. I have to try to, accomplish things and do things. I can't just sit around and wait for something that might not come. So I feel like that was the mentality where I was like, I'm just going to move on and just try to live life to the best of my ability.
So do you have you have the same happiness level before versus before paralyzation?
Probably not, just because I mean, and then I realized this even before my injury. I realized like that I didn't have the typical life. Like I was living the life that a lot of guys kind of are like, damn, I wish I could have that life. I was kind of living that life. The only thing I didn't have was money. I was always kind of like, not broke, but I never really had like an excessive amount of money.
Yeah.
And I joke around that I was like, that was probably the only thing that I was missing, money.
Yeah.
Because other than that, I basically had great relationship with people and did a lot of things that I wanted to do. So in that sense, it's like that kind of got taken away from me, and that's something I'm not going to get back in a way.
Yeah.
But overall, I feel like I'm pretty close to being as happy as I can be, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not... like I said, I have my days, but I feel like I'm the type of person that if I put something in my head, I can normally accomplish it. So I've set goals for myself and met most of those goals. So I'm living as like the best life that I can live, I guess you could say.
Interesting, because you were talking about mind over matters. I feel like sometimes it's really a mixture of both. You have to take matters into effect to an extent.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can't... It's like the whole thing where people say you gotta like put things out into the world, like kind of manifest things.
Yeah,
but it's like you can manifest being a billionaire, but if you're just sitting on your ass all day, you're not gonna get there. You know, you have to put in the work and manifest things. So I feel like in that sense, I'm kind of like reaching the goals that I'm setting for myself. So that makes me happy, obviously.
It's kind of surprising that you're not susceptible to like cults. I just feel like you'd be the like perfect target. The problem is that you can levitate, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy. The problem is all kinds of stuff. You can walk again. That's one of the things.
Yeah.
When they always show like it really worked.
Yeah. I'm like, bullshit. Because see, what I say to that, like, you know, there's like churches. They're like, well, you know, we'll pray for you.
The healing, right? Healed. Then you see like the evangelists.
Yeah.
They would put their hands on the guy's
but I'm
forehead.
Like, that's bullshit, bro.
Yeah.
Because like, let's say that was real.
Yeah.
Like, let's say I went to a church and they prayed for me and I started walking again. I went back to normal.
Yeah.
Dude, I would tell every other person in the church, like, bro, come to this church. But that's not happening, you know? Like, yeah. I'm a pretty smart person, I feel.
Are you
so
religious?
Not really.
Not really?
My family went to church growing up, but not really. I wouldn't.
So do prayers work?
I feel like prayers is like another form of manifesting things. It's like if you put a prayer is basically asking for something, but if you ask for something and work at it, the chances of you getting it are obviously there's limitations. Like I can't pray and be like, yeah, can I?
You don't believe in divine powers?
Not really. So I think there's something out there bigger than us, but I don't think it's necessarily like a single god or something specifically.
So you've checked in enough. I will grant you the power.
I have a joke about it where I say that because people always try to pray for me at random places, like at stores, and I have this joke around like I always tell them I'm good because you guys are like 0 for 20, bro. You know, like y'all been missing. You know, so I do believe that there's a higher power, but I not necessarily like church or a specific religion that's gonna, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just every time I see that,
I have questions. Like I just
want to call you. I'm like, is it? You should check this out. Like this guy
prayed for these guys and
then he walks. You want to go give a try?
Like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And then there's also there's incomplete spinal cord injuries where you won't be able to walk for a while, but eventually you gain function again.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like sometimes they'll use that to be like, no, he was in a chair, but now he's walking. And in reality, he did like 5 years of therapy, and you know, there's like certain things you can do to help you.
Like the God made it happen.
Yeah, I'm like, bullshit.
Interesting. What's your view on Neuralink?
I would be open to it. I'm not gonna be the guinea pig and be the first.
I saw there's a guinea pig that's like paraplegic. I think it's a guy.
Yeah, I mean they've done experiments with like rats and other where they paralyze them and they cure them. Yeah. if they get there, I'll be down. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna get tested on.
No,
I'll get the final product. Thank you.
Holy shit, I can do this and this, but now my brain is fried.
Yeah. Like, people ask me all the time, like, do you think about walking? Like, is that... And not really, actually.
Do you dream? When you dream, were you on the chair?
Yeah, and I'm never in a chair in my dreams. I'm always walking.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I have a joke about that, too, where I'm like, I'll dream that I'm walking and then wake up mad as hell. Just like, what the fuck?
Because there is a buffer period when you just wake up and you're in this between... phase between reality and your dream, and you kind of still believe whatever happened in the dream is still happening. And then you're like, oh no.
You realize fairly quickly, because my body always hurts. Like, I have back pain every single day, 24/7. So I'm like, if I was cured like that'd be gone, I wouldn't.
What works for you? Because I have lower back pain just for sitting in wrong positions for too long. I'm pretty sure it's not nearly as bad as yours.
I don't really because it's always there, I'm already used to it.
You just live with it.
Yeah, basically.
But what is the level? It's like a 3 out of 10?
It feels like they're burning me. Like, what I say.
How do you... That's mind over matters?
Yeah, I mean, because it's always there. Like, it gets to a point where, because it's always there, you just kind of not forget about it, but you don't feel it in a way unless you think about it. Like, literally my legs, my lower back is like burning right now, but it's because it's always there. It's like,
shit, I'm trying to look for nothing helped.
Nah, I've tried taking like painkillers. I've tried like gabapentin and a few other things.
You know what I did? I went to a dispensary. I bought like a CBD cream, and I look around, I'm like, am I the only person who actually bought weed for medical uses?
No, I mean, it does help for sure.
I don't know, it just kind of numbs it a little bit and makes it feel like it's hot, and that's it. It feels warm and is tingling, and that's it.
See, I wouldn't feel those things, so.
But wait on a second. This might be a very dumb question. If you don't feel anything, how do you feel pain?
That's what I don't understand.
You
it's
don't
like,
understand?
why? Like, that's what doesn't make sense to me. If I can't move or feel from my chest down, why do I feel this burning pain?
Is the burning pain originated from your chest down or chest up?
Nah, it's like my lower back, my legs.
Yeah.
It feels like, and when I say burning, I literally mean like put a lighter to your hand and like hold it
like
there.
Right now, it feels that way.
It feels like what I compare it to is like, it feels like I'm sitting on glass and they're burning me.
Son of ice and fire.
Yeah. But like I said, it's because it's always there. I mean, like right now it's like worse than normal because I got rear-ended like 3 weeks ago.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So I feel like that's been like my...
Have you like go to the hospital and sue the guy?
No, I just made a doctor's appointment today actually. Because I was like, all right, I'm not like... I don't feel like I'm injured.
You should call a lawyer because, like, I've seen, like, sometimes it takes a while for the symptoms to show. And
I mean, like, my legs have been spasming a lot more than normal. And my, the way that I know that something's wrong with it is, like, I'll be sitting in my chair and after, like, an hour, I'll be like, okay, I need to get out of my chair. Like, this shit is getting a little too intense. And it's been kind of like that the last, like, week or two. Yeah. So I was like, I probably should make sure I'm not... There's not something going on.
I'm able-bodied. I feel the same. I mean, I can't sit and sleep like correctly now. I'm 32. I'm only 32.
Yeah. I mean, but do you like do things? Like, do you stretch? Do you? Because I try to stretch every morning.
I went to physio. It made it worse.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got hit by a car crossing the street like 2 years ago.
Holy, why is your life? You got shot, you got hit by a car, you just got rear-ended.
I don't know. Like,
if you got abducted by aliens, I wouldn't be surprised.
They better cure me if they take my ass, you know, shit. But yeah, I got hit by a car 2 years ago and I flew out of my chair. I didn't really get super injured, but like I said, I could feel it in my back. So I went to like therapy.
You better pray, brother. I feel like you need... You need to start praying. Something's happening.
Hey, I don't know, man.
There's a voodoo doll somewhere in someone's basement. With your
maybe
name
I wouldn't be
pinned on the
surprised.
head.
They've told me that some of my exes might have done some weird things to me. I don't know. I don't believe in that stuff.
Do you deserve it? You did some. You did some stuff.
I've done some fucked up shit in my day, but not to where not to these consequences.
Okay.
Like,
I'm not
sure.
suggesting
like,
that.
I don't feel like anybody's
you're
like,
on a chair because you're cheated on your ex.
Yeah, nah.
I'm just saying.
Cheating won't get you this, you know.
Yeah, were they mad at you because certain behaviors?
Maybe, but
okay.
I don't think I've in relationships specifically. I don't think I've ever really done anything to warrant this. So in that aspect, I don't think so.
But what have you done to warrant other?
I've done some
things?
stuff. Like I was like a wild kid. Like I was like not robbing people, but like I was definitely like, you know, coming up on stuff, like getting into cars and
carjacking.
Not necessarily carjacking, like give me your car, you know, but just like taking stuff from people's cars when I was like way younger. Nah, well, what's the difference? Nah, because when I hear carjacking, I mean like you pull out a gun on somebody, and you're like, yo, give me your car, I'm taking your shit. You know? And like it wasn't nothing like that, but
yeah, I'm sorry, but the way you describe it is like, okay, did you molest this child? No, I didn't, like, you know, I just kind of just touched it a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's wild. That's
it was like, yeah, so you molest. No. You're talking about this.
It was the clothes.
I'm doing this. I was like, okay. So that what I mean is, have you done anything while you're in the relationship that warrant certain retributions?
I mean,
from your ex.
Like I did cheat, but like I said, it was kind of like not in every relationship, and it was like one of those things where I was like, I was done with the relationship, but I didn't like being alone. So I would start looking for the next relationship. So I would kind of be like, all right, well, I'm done with this relationship, and then just being in a relationship with someone else like a week later.
You're doing premature monkey branching,
I guess.
You're just staring at the other branch, ready to launch. Why this branch is still standing. So I might have hurt some people's feeling in that sense. Yeah,
for sure.
That's about cheating for a second. This is not about you.
Cheating sucks. Like once someone that I really love cheated on me, and I kind of like, I feel like every guy needs to get cheated on, like by someone that they really love, because I feel like that really helped me understand, like, yeah, this is a fucked up feeling. Like, I don't want people feeling this way. I don't want to make somebody feel this way. So that really changed my perspective.
So here's the message from Daniel. Okay, cheat on your man for the betterment of all women. So
I guess
they need to get got first before they stop, hurting other women's feelings.
Yeah, that was definitely like a big, like, eye-opening moment for me, where I was like, damn, this sucks. Yeah, like I don't want to make somebody else feel this way. So I've been faithful. Getting shot made me faithful, yo.
So not getting into too much details, like when she cheated on you, was it like she trying to hide it, or she's just like doesn't give a shit? So yeah, sure, I did. It's not even trying to.
No, yeah, she never admitted it. Yeah.
Okay. How did you find out about it?
Social media.
Oh God. Yeah. Those likes.
Yeah. It was one of those, and I was like, "Fuck it." I mean, our relationship in a way was kind of like coming to an end already. Yeah, like we were.
So she's monkey branching. She's doing what you were doing.
We were married though, so.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that changes a little bit. Yeah,
we changed a lot.
We had been in a relationship almost 8 years at that point. Right. But we got married young, and it was like the traditional marriage where we were like super in love. So it was like she wasn't born here. We were already together. We were in a serious relationship, so we were kind of like, well, let's just get married and fix your papers and see what happens. And we ended up together almost 8 years, and it was just kind of like one of those things, because we were so young, we just started kind of like splitting apart. And then we were actually together when I got shot.
And she stuck around for how long?
We had been in a relationship maybe like 7 months when I got shot.
She stuck around for like 8 more years.
Yeah, she was a real one.
It's always a hypothetical question that people ask each other. It's like, what if your husband got into our ass, his dick stopped working? No. Would you still stick around?
Well, let me trip you out. So like a month before I got shot, I saw this story about this model that broke up with her boyfriend, and he threw acid in her face, and like just totally messed up her life. Jeez. So with that mentality, I don't know why I asked her. I was like, yo, you think if something happened to me, you would stay with me? And then she was like, yeah, I would stay with you.
At
and
the
then
time where you were
I was walking, and then a month after that, I got shot. Yeah.
You jinxed yourself. You better start praying, brother.
I actually predicted I was gonna get shot too. I do that like my whole life. I've like almost everything I've said.
What is your spider sense? You say you were wearing a Spider-Man.
I guess because me saying that I thought I was gonna get shot comes from growing up in LA and just all the things that I experienced. Like guys just didn't like me before my injury. Like I would get hated on a lot by guys. So like I forgot how many times someone pulled out a gun on me in my life. So just from that, and like I would avoid going to parties in general because guys would always want to fight with me. So because of those things, it was just like, just mathematically, statistically, I'm probably going to get shot. So I would say that I think I'm going to get shot at some point.
Jesus Christ.
And then I got shot. Like other things happened to me. Like when I was younger, my parents split up when I was like 6. And then when my mom would make me mad, I'd be like, one day my dad's going to come and I'm just going to leave with him. And one day my dad showed up and he was like, who wants to go with me? And I was like, I'm out.
Wow.
I just got rear-ended. I got rear-ended on the 24th of December.
Yeah, you just told me you got hit by a car 2 years ago. Then you got rear-ended.
I predicted that too, both those times. So, I was parked on Fairfax. So I went to the Comedy Store, had a really good set at the Comedy Store, hung out, and then I was going home and I was hungry. So I was going down Fairfax, and there's a Carl's Jr. on Fairfax and San Vicente. I got a spicy chicken sandwich and I pulled over on Fairfax. And when I parked, I was like, damn, I hope I don't get rear-ended. And then like 10 minutes later, I got rear-ended.
Holy shit.
And
I kind of want to be your friends and don't want to be your friends.
Right?
I don't want you to tell me, hey Zeo, I had a hunch.
Yeah.
Your life is...
I mean, now I know to like, if you feel something, like go with that, bro.
What energy do you feel from me?
Well, it's not like that where it's just like things that just come into my head and I either like, can acknowledge it or not.
You're modeling the scenarios in your head.
I guess it's just, for me, it's just all about statistics and numbers. So like when I got hit crossing the street, that street, I feel is like an awkward street, the way that it's like a straight and then it goes into a curve. Yeah. So I remember I was going to an open mic and I used to park in the it was like a little shopping center and the club was across the street. So I'd always cross the street. And then I remember being at the light multiple times.
Fourth
wall? The Hollywood Comedy.
Oh, okay. I know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
So you know how there's that shopping center right across the street from
there?
So I would park there in the handicap spot right there and then I would cross the street. And then more than one time, I would say like, I think almost every time where I was going to cross the street, when I saw a car with their blinker that was going to turn left, I'd be in my head saying like, please don't hit me. Please don't hit me.
Dude, that intersection is really gnarly.
Yeah.
Like, cause even when when the signal turn on and you're supposed to give right away for pedestrians, cars would just keep going. Yeah. They don't stop.
Yeah.
I sometimes just stare at them. I'm like, do you see this light? Yeah. I'm supposed to cross. Yeah. They're like, they don't give a shit.
So I would see that and I'd be like, I hope, like, I was literally saying that in my head. Like, I hope this car doesn't hit me when he hit me.
Oh God!
But see, like for me, it's like, you know, people say like you manifested that, but for me, it's like numbers. It's about statistically.
Yeah.
If you cross enough times in this weird intersection, like a car might not see you, and it was kind of dark already. So that's where I feel a lot of it comes from a place of like, it's like I shouldn't say this, but I say it. I say that if I ever blow up and get rich, I'm going to get like a really fast Porsche and probably kill myself in it because I'm going to be driving crazy.
But you want to be remembered dying in a Porsche.
Hey.
When we see the news report or whatever, it's, oh, at least you got a Porsche.
Yeah.
It's worse when you die in what's your current car?
Well, I don't have a car right now because they totaled my car.
Yeah, but you're driving.
I had a 2019 Honda Accord Sport.
Yeah, I think dying in a Porsche sounds better than dying in a Honda Accord.
Yeah, for
Accord.
Sure. But why? The reason I say that is just because if I'm in a really fast car, I'm probably going to be driving faster than I should be.
Yeah.
And statistically, if you're driving faster,
why don't you just not do the thing that?
Well, I try not to. As I've gotten older, I've gotten better about being safer. You know, and I've definitely slowed down. And I'm not as crazy of a driver as I was when I was younger.
You're like the worst fortune teller.
I
like
swear,
the best and
but
the worst.
Here's what bothers me about it. It's like, I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna be a billionaire. I'm just gonna start saying that, and like, well, let's see if it happens. You know, it's like, why does only the bad things? Why do I only manifest only the bad things?
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson is gonna give me a blowjob.
Hey, I won't feel it. So
that. You won't feel it. But visually,
I'll be like, Scarlett Johansson is blowing me right now.
She has a beautiful face. Yeah. The paint of her head will look gorgeous when that happens. You talk about statistics. I want to talk about some statistics.
Shoot the statistics.
Okay. Men or women? Who's more likely to cheat?
Women.
Men
are more likely to cheat?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, more likely to cheat. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess that's different. I'm thinking something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, because women are more emotional, so it's harder for them to cheat.
Yeah.
Because they have to kind of like the person.
So
I
got some very interesting statistics about cheating based on gender, right? Men is more likely to cheat than women significantly. Mm-hmm. So basically the number I'm looking at is 20% of men cheat and 13% of women cheat. Okay. So 20 versus 13, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the first interesting point. The second interesting point is I'm seeing this graph. I'm going to show you. It's the gender cheating gap is wider among older adults. You see this blue line? Mm-hmm. That's men when they cheat in different like age groups, and the pink line is women.
Well, so as you guys get older, you cheat less?
Yeah. So for women, when women are between 18 to 29, when they're young, they're slightly more.
That's when they're at their
Yeah,
hottest.
but they're slightly more likely to cheat than men, like 11% versus 10%, so 1% difference, right? Mm-hmm. However, men's cheating rate peaked when they're over 70 years old.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? 26%.
Well, but it makes sense though, because women at a certain point, their bodies are just like, we're done,
over.
Bro. Yeah,
it's over.
And we can go with not go in the sense of like we have the same
70?
energy, but we can still.
One word,
even have kids.
Viagra.
Exactly. So I that makes sense in the sense of like an older lady is probably not going to want to have as much sex than when she was younger.
That dry pussy.
Yeah. So
can we have a female Viagra to make the pussy
they
not
do
as dry?
have female.
They do?
Yeah.
To moisten it up?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they do.
What is it called?
I don't know what it's called, but I know they do have stuff where it's supposed to make you wetter and make you horny.
Well, then do better on the marketing, because I've never heard of it.
But there is for sure.
And this graph, so what's more interesting is men and women both are more likely to cheat once they enter middle age, like from like 50 to like 70, right? They're both like the rate goes up significantly. Women are more likely to cheat in when they're in their 60s, 16%. Men are more likely to cheat in their 70s which is 26%. And men still has a very high cheating rate when they're 80 plus years old.
Well, it makes sense also in the sense that most men don't really start getting their life together and
they're 80 years old.
Well, financially until you're like after 40, I feel.
Right.
So then it gives you like you have more to offer, so it's easier to like because money gets you things, you know.
So here's this very stark contrast is between men and women over the age of 80. 24% cheating rate among men. Fuck yeah. Only 6%. Women's cheating rate dipped to an all-time low, which is thinkable. 6% when they're over 80. You see this huge gap, which makes me feel like the 80-year-old men are fucking younger women.
Yeah, for sure. That's 100% what's happening.
Yeah.
They're because their wife is probably like done.
Yeah.
And she's like, you can get it like once or twice a month, and they're like, nah, let's go a few times a week. Especially with Viagra, you know?
Yeah. The other thing that's interesting is this is the stats. This is all according to study. I'm not pulling the numbers out of my ass, okay? Men are more likely to stay married after they've been caught cheating than women.
Oh, for sure. Because their
wife would forgive them.
That's like a pride thing, though. I think for like men, it's like... So when like if your wife cheats on you as a man... I feel like it's a pride thing where you're like, well, this other dude can be like, well, I fucked your wife. What you gonna do about it?
Yeah, but you fucked my husband.
But I feel like
it's different.
Not to be like, I guess it is a little sexist, I guess, but it just like for like you guys don't have like this pride thing that men have.
I have pride?
Well, I know you have pride, but not in the same sense of like because you're like. for women, it's your choice. Like for women, it's like on you if somebody can have your body.
So you're saying,
but guys will give it to anybody. We don't care.
So when you're saying your egos are hurt more because you know when your wife is cheating on you, she thought about it, she made a calculation, and she made a choice.
Well, because also it's an emotional thing. Like men, like you can love a woman and then still fuck 20 other women and have them not mean anything to you. Whereas more likely women, you have to kind of like, you cheat almost like in two ways. You cheat emotionally and physically because you're less likely to just give your body to anybody. Whereas guys, horny guys will fucking give it to anybody. We don't give a shit. But you guys, it's more like you have to have some kind of connection with the person. So you like made plans with them and you got to know them and they got to know you. You probably most likely talk shit about your husband to that person, you know? So it's like, again, it sounds a little sexist, but I feel like it's that, like the pride of like, for a man being like, damn, this dude fucked my wife. Like, that's crazy. Like,
so statistically, 61% of men still stay married after they've been caught cheating on their spouse. And only 44% of women stay married after they've been caught by their husband that they're cheating.
Yeah, that.
We're talking about a 15%, almost, not 15%. Yeah, almost like 15, 16% difference.
But that's like the older ages too, or is that throughout?
That's through and through. That's through and through. Yeah. And then speaking of older ages, this proves like society. Okay, you've seen those posts about like, this is what a 30-year-old looked like in the 70s, and they all look like 45.
Yeah.
And now 30-year-old look like
super
19.
Young, yeah.
We are getting younger, even by cheating age. So I talked to you about the peaking age for like men who cheat is in their 70s now. 10 years ago, the peaking age is 60 to 69. 10 years before that, in the 90s, the peaking age is 50 to 59. So every 10 years, the peak age for cheating move forward for 10 years.
I think in a way too, society has made it a little bit more acceptable in a way.
Cheating?
Kind of. I feel like it's like more normalized maybe.
Okay.
Whereas before, I feel like marriage meant more like 10, 20 years ago than it does now. Because now people get married 3 or 4 or 5 times, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't, I feel like it means less to people. It's less of a taboo to have 2 or 3 divorces under your belt, you know?
Yeah. How many divorces do you have?
Just one.
I have one too.
Yeah. I'm like I said, it was cool. I don't regret anything. We just got married young. And it's funny because we're cool to this day. Like we don't like talk all the time or anything, but we still have like
you're
amicable
the
relationship.
56% that you divorced your wife.
Yeah, I was
cheating.
Dumb.
That statistic apply to you.
I feel like she wouldn't have cheated on me if I hadn't started.
Okay, now let me ask you this question.
I put the blame on myself a little bit.
Would she stayed if you cheated on her?
Yeah, she kind of did stay.
Okay, she did. I mean, this is different.
No, so okay.
This is very different than cheating.
So something weird happened to me in this specific relationship. So I have 2 kids. I have a baby mama and a baby mama, and I have a wife. So I was with the girl that I had kids with. I already had a daughter with her, and me and my girlfriend that became my wife, we were together and we broke up. And I ended up messing around with my baby mama, and she got pregnant again.
Oh God!
So then I had to kind of like tell her like, "Yo, I
this
made
all
another
happened
kid
before you're 21."
Before I was 21, yeah.
Damn.
So I kind of had to be like, "Yo, I have another kid," and then she kind of always held that like over my head, like,
"Yeah,
you were out here," even though I technically didn't cheat because we weren't in a relationship.
Yeah.
But.
Interesting.
She always kind of was like, well, you fucking had an extra kid, so shut the fuck up.
This might be fucked up to say, but you messing around in a very young age, make sure you actually have kids.
Yeah, perfect. It worked out for me. Like, I have a couple now. They're 16 and 17.
How's
really
your relationship
dope kids.
with them?
Not as good as it could be. Like, I had kids with someone that I was just supposed to mess around with.
How many baby mamas do you have?
I just have one.
I mean, including all your wife, just one. Okay.
Yeah, I had 2 kids with one girl.
Wow, she's fertile. I'm sorry.
She has 6 kids total now.
With how many different?
She has 3 baby daddies.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said, she was like a girl that I was just supposed to fuck around with, and that's it. But she just.
Hey, salute to her. We have a population crisis. She's helping.
No, yeah, no, like I'm not the dudes that like talk shit about their baby mom. I mean, I kind of am talking shit in that sense, but she's done an amazing job with my kids, and like we didn't have like the best relationship, and now she lives in Oregon and they live in Oregon, so it's kind of like they would come over to the summer. It's been like 2 years.
Gee, do you miss them? Do you like FaceTime them?
Yeah. I'm a FaceTime dad.
You're a FaceTime dad.
I mean, as they've gotten older too, like they have relationships now, so it's kind of like it's not the same,
okay,
you know.
Let me ask you this question. Back to the stats. In America, I want you to answer the question first before we go into it. Okay.
Go ahead.
In America, this is very controversial. I'm going to brace myself. Again, disclaimer. This is according to a study. I didn't say it. Don't call me racist. The study says it, okay? I didn't pull it out of my ass. I pull it out of the study. Someone pulled their ass and then put it on a study, okay? In America, which race do you think cheats the most? And I'm going to tell you the answer after you answer it.
God, it's got to be Latinos.
You think it's Latinos?
It's Latin people or black people?
You think it's Latinos and blacks and then whites?
Yeah.
Okay, wrong. According to the study, Latinos are the least likely among the 3 groups. Black people cheated the most. According to the study, I didn't say it. The study says it. Black people cheat the most, 22% cheating. Whites are second, 16%. Hispanics are actually the last.
Well, because 13%. We get married too. We get married kind of young, so.
Why is that? Is it because of the religious thing, or is it? Do you think the stats are correct, or it's actually not what you have experienced?
Well, yeah, I speak from experience. Like I have cheated, so I kind of, I take that into account. But I guess, in a way, it makes sense that we cheat the least. But because we do get married young, I feel like, or we do have kids young, so we kind of tend to stay with our baby's mother more often than not. Yeah,
and then according to the stats, the highest group by gender and race, Black men, 28% is towering over all other. Well, just the amount of times that black comics talking about cheating made me feel like there's got to be some truth to it.
You think the race of the female is a part of it as well?
What do you mean?
Like are black women more likely to be like, fuck it, like not care if you're cheating? Because I feel like Latin women will kill you.
You think?
So I think that.
I don't know, man. I feel like black women give me the impression of being very like assertive. I feel like they kill them too. But they still do it. You think you're blaming the black women for being too forgiving?
Maybe.
Okay.
Are they so? Is there a stat on like the men and the women stats of cheating?
It doesn't have the
are
stats.
Black women more likely to cheat than the other races as well? Or is that just for men?
I don't have the stats, but you can take a look at the stats and make deductions, right? Deduce it. So overall, black people, the cheating rate is 22%, but black men is 28%. If you think about the average, women's probably like maybe 15, 12 or whatever. So blame it on the black guys. That's my deduction.
Do you think that has anything to do with the amount of homes without a father?
I think this is actually quoted. This stats we'll be talking about so far are all like extramarital sex. Okay. It doesn't even count for when you're dating someone. This is for households as actually married couples. Oh, okay. And then they actually self-report. Yeah. Have you cheated before?
Well, those stats have to be off. Yeah. Not everybody's confessing that they're cheating on their wife and shit.
So maybe black people are more honest.
Because I feel like in the black community, they have the highest rates of like fatherless homes. And that's probably by design.
I didn't say it.
I feel like that's kind of by design.
Okay.
And because I feel like in my experience, I have this my dad was like not very vocal, or he's not very like he was never really a talkative person. So I don't feel like he ever was like gave me like a very like specific like lesson like this and that. But I remember one time when I was like 12 or 13, I was talking to my older sister and I was like, I'm a player, I'm out here, got game, I got all kind of girls. And my dad heard that, and then he kind of like took me to the side and he was like, you know that's wrong, right? He was like, you're not supposed to treat women like that. You're supposed to treat women with respect, and you know that's not cool. And that stuck with me. I mean, I still kind of cheated here and there, but that was like very
if your
memorable.
dad didn't say that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine not having a dad and not having those lessons. You're more. I feel like you're more likely to not respect women as much and be more like, fuck it, it is what it is.
Interesting.
So I feel like because in the black community they have the highest rate of fatherless homes, and I feel like you could statistically.
You know, this is why I like this stats, because it's about U.S. based. America is like a multiracial country, and then if you have to compare like by worldwide countries,
I'm sure it's different.
It's very different because like you really can't calculate. Like let's say the Middle East, can't even. If you're a woman, you cheat, you probably get your, you know.
Yeah,
you get killed.
Yeah, no, for sure. When I'm thinking about it in general, I'm thinking about the United States.
Like
I'm not thinking about the whole world.
Of course, there are differences of like income and classes and whatever, but overall, I think the stats are more, telling the truth than like worldwide. And speaking of that, very interestingly, what was I trying to say? Oh, according to the stats, who do you think? Okay, let me ask you this. Who do you think that's more likely to cheat? Guess. Democrats or Republicans?
Damn, I feel like this is a trick question.
It's not a trick question. I have the answer here according to the study, but you can tell me what's your impression, what's your guess?
I think like Democrats are supposed to be the more like, but Republicans probably.
Democrats are more likely to cheat.
Really?
Yeah, liberals are more likely to cheat than Republicans. That's slightly. It's like 18% versus 14%. But still, we're talking about like a slightly uptick. But again, self-reported. So maybe I feel like maybe Republicans are just
not
liars.
Snitching on themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just more. They care about their like image too much, and they don't want to admit it. That could be the reason. But assuming everyone is all telling the truth, or their honesty level is the same, Democrats are more likely to cheat than Republicans.
I don't know. I'm always like iffy about polls and stuff because I'm like, who's filling out polls?
I fill out polls all the time.
Really?
I got a letter from like Pure Research Center, and they attach like $2 cash in the.
That's what I was gonna say. I used to work at a mall. I used to work at the Panorama Mall as a security guard. Yeah. And they had like an office and they would do polls like because it was a mall and they had like a bunch of. I think that's the only time I ever did polls, but because they were paying me.
Yeah. They have to pay like people to do that.
To fucking do this poll or whatever, and I'll be like, cool. I'll be on my lunch break.
Back to the race thing, because I want to make this amendment. I was looking for like the stats for Asians for a while. Somehow they only give you the comparison between whites, Hispanics, and black people. I can't find any stats about like Asian.
You guys aren't cheaters?
No, it's just no stats. Here's the thing. I don't know about Asians in America, right? Because I couldn't find the stats. I was born and raised in China. Back in China, I never met a single Asian man who's not cheating on their wife.
That's not cheating on their wife?
That's not cheating on their wife.
That's crazy.
Everyone is cheating on their wife. I'm serious. Like I'm just grew up in the fucked up place. I can't speak for all Chinese people, but every family that my mom knows about, like her friend group, all divorced because the guy's cheating or with a prostitute or something, or we call it Xiao San, the third woman, right? And my friend group's the same.
Really?
The guy's cheating.
Why do you think that is, though?
I don't know, man. Maybe it's an Asian thing. I don't know about Japan and Korea.
Because they respect their wives so much that they don't want to do wild shit with their wife.
I love you have the way you cover for them. It's just lovely.
Because I feel like when it comes to Latinos, like Latin women will stab you. Like if you cheat, like they're spicy. They'll fucking you're gonna pay a consequence one way or another. So I feel like it makes sense that we're not like the biggest cheaters.
So your advice for other women is just start stabbing their husbands, or be Be more crazy.
Be more verbally violent.
And physically violent.
Just verbalize it. Yeah, threat. Make the threat.
Make the threat.
But don't go to jail over it. You know?
Speaking of that, stray away from this topic for a second. I don't know if you heard of this. Like after the Luigi Mangiani thing happened, there's a woman in Florida. I think her name is Brianna something. She was having a dispute over the phone with her medical insurance company, and she made a verbal threat. She quoted whatever Luigi was inscribed on the bullet. Yeah. What is it? Dispose?
Defiance something.
Yeah. She quoted that over the phone, and it's a recorded line. Oh, shit. So right now she's in jail. And she's just gonna be put on trial, and they want to throw her in jail for 15 years for this.
That's crazy. Just for a verbal threat?
I mean, like technically speaking, it is a felony to make like. Yeah. I mean, she didn't say it directly, but obviously, based on what happened, I think they want to make an example of her.
For sure. That makes sense because like those big pharmaceutical companies or whatever, you know, they're the people that run this country essentially. So it makes sense to be like, oh yeah, you want to fucking threaten us? Let's make an example. You know, that reminds me of something that happened to me. I was living in the state of Washington. I moved out there. My birthday's in January, and I moved out there January 31st, and I was up there for almost 2 years. And all I basically was doing was working all the time. And one day I got like a court notice, and it said that I had a court appearance because I had threatened somebody's life.
Oh my God.
It said that I said that I was going to kill them.
Did you say it?
No. Okay. So I was
Are you the type of person who probably would say it?
No.
Okay.
Like, nah, I've always been pretty chill.
Okay.
So I'm like, what the fuck? So I go to court. And they didn't want to say who it was that I
It's
threatened.
Anonymous.
Yeah, but I mean, it got dismissed right away because I was working at the time that they said that it happened. Like I literally had my time card of like I was literally at work when I was supposedly making this threat. I don't even know where they said I threatened them.
But they don't have proof.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is they had all my information. They had my name, where I lived, where I worked, everything.
But if they don't have proof, you should say it never happened.
Well, I did. All I had to do was take my time card and be like, "Yo, well, what they said it," and I was like, "Who was it?" I wanted to know. You know?
But they probably
I'm really gonna threaten their ass now, bro. Yeah, but I was like, that is so crazy how that somebody's word can like, you know, like, imagine if I wasn't at work. Like, how am I gonna prove that I didn't say those things? I was like, that's kind of crazy.
You said it too, but like for this woman, it's a recorded phone line. Yeah. They caught her.
But it's like, yeah, that's crazy. Like somebody's word can really.
I mean, what I'm saying is, if they really want to enforce this threats kind of thing, like how many, like I said, Latino women say, "I'm gonna kill you" after their husband is messing around or liking someone's Instagram post. Yeah,
you can't take everything literal. You know?
But I feel pretty bad for the lady. I mean, I'm not saying what she did was right, but she got frustrated. She ran her mouth.
And that makes sense because you can relate to that. And when we've all said shit we regret after because over being emotional.
I would say, I don't know, cut her loose in a few months, you know, some citations.
They'll probably end
fines.
up dropping the case, I bet you.
No, but they're really being adamant on it. Yeah. And there's like a GoFundMe and they shut that down.
Really?
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Watch. I think eventually they'll just like drop the case because they'll be like, she just. Because I mean, unless she has other like priors of violence or something, and they can prove that, I feel like they're probably just gonna like drop that case.
It's just crazy that she can be sentenced up to 15 years for running her mouth when those medical insurance companies are literally killing people and getting big fat bonus checks. Yeah. That's the country we live in. But back to cheating, because that's a way better topic. That's a way happier topic than the medical insurance system in America. Yeah. Last set of stats. Heterosexual versus homosexuals. Straight people versus gay people. Who's more likely to cheat? Take a guess.
Gay people for sure, especially guys.
Okay, this is a trick question because the stats are showing within a marriage who's more likely to cheat. Answer again.
Between
gay couples
or straight couples?
And straight couples.
I think straight couples, just because there's more chances of cheating. There's more straight people.
Yeah.
So you're.
We're talking about percentage though. Oh, you think because the pool of
is way higher? Yeah.
But don't you think it's okay? So the answer is yes. According to the study, it shows that heterosexual marriages have more cheating happening. But then I look into the fine print, and this is hilarious to me. I'm like, that's counterintuitive. I feel like gay people are more likely to cheat, right? And then I found out that's because more than half of gay man couples are in open marriages.
Yeah. That
I
makes
was
sense.
like, okay, that's a loophole.
Yeah, I Uber.
Yeah.
And I've picked up a lot of. I'm like, yo, wow, out here, because they just talk like I'm not there.
What do they talk about?
Wild shit, like some of the wild shit. Like they're like, oh, I met this guy, he fucked the shit out of me, and I was like, that's crazy. Because like in a male female relationship, like the guy, it's rare when you meet a girl and she just like the first time just lets you hit it.
Yeah.
But gay dudes out here wilding, like they don't give a fuck. They're fucking in the club, in the bathroom, like. I'm like,
I have a gay friend. It sounds like I have a black friend. I really have a gay friend. He's one of my best friends for more than 15 years. I talked to him like a few months ago. He's like, yeah, my New Year resolution, I'm gonna be fuck fewer guys. Yeah. I was like, last year I tried to like calm down, and I really like bring my number down last year. This year I'm gonna do better. I'm like, okay, what's the number last year? He's like 32. Yeah. And then he's like, that doesn't include fooling around. That's like penetration. Like if you want to talk about just in the bathroom, I don't even remember.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like 32.
That makes total sense.
Yeah,
because we're not.
My other guy friend who's like older than this guy's like, my whole life the number's like 5. Like what the hell?
Yes, I mean my number would definitely be way higher than it is. I mean it's still around like lower 30s.
Low 30s. Total? But that's your whole life, right?
My whole life, but
you don't have annually 32.
Nah, but if I was like, if I hadn't got shot, that should be over 100 right now. Yeah. For sure. I would have been out here in these streets. I would have probably had like 13 kids by now.
Yeah. You have 2. You have 2 while you know this happened to you. I mean,
I could still have kids, but it would just cost me like 20 grand.
Can you still have kids?
Yeah, but it would be like surgical.
How do you do it?
They would literally have to take sperm out of me and
but listen, this might be a dumb question. If you can't feel anything, how can you ejaculate?
Well, you can and you can't. So it's almost impossible to make us ejaculate through sex, but like the first, like let's say if you're paralyzed and you're married and you want kids, the very first thing that they tell you to try is like they make this specific vibrator that's for men that's like super fucking strong, and you put that on your balls, and then that once in a while will make certain people come, and then when we do come, it's not the same. Like, it's we don't shoot.
Super flashlight.
Yeah, in a way, it kind of looks like a flashlight too. But one of the things that happens to us, so like when you're having sex, well, 2 things happen. So a lot of people don't know this. When men are having sex, we get 2 different erections. We get the one where if you're touching us, we'll get hard, but then your brain sends a signal down and it tells it like, all right, stay up, because we're having sex. And I don't get that, so I have to take like a Blue Chew or Viagra or whatever to like stay hard. But then when you're gonna ejaculate, your brain again sends a signal down, and it tells it like, all right, shoot it out.
Yeah.
And the reason we have to shoot it out the way we do is because, kind of like a basic comparison, is like the sperm has to travel from like LA to New York.
Yeah.
And the shooting out is like you getting on a plane and flying to New York, whereas we don't shoot it out. It just kind of like comes out. So it's like, way harder to get.
Like a teardrop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's way harder to get somebody pregnant that way, because the sperm has a hard time getting to the egg without the. Right. So it's like you have to deal with that as well. This is
a very vivid sex ed class.
I mean, hey, you gotta get educated, you know.
So theoretically, even being paralyzed, you still can't have children.
Nah, like naturally, like the likelihood is.
But like, if let's say you're some rich billionaire, like do you think technology can make it happen?
Yeah, they would like basically just take sperm out of you and then.
Take sperm out of your balls and
insert it into like IVF or whatever. Yeah.
hey, like
So it's expensive.
I heard like Mick Jagger, like Robert De Niro, they're in their like 70s.
Oh yeah,
80s.
but they're still they're
having
able bodied.
kids.
They can still
Damn.
shoot it out. You know.
That explains why guys cheat
That's
the
what I'm
most
saying.
when they're 70.
Like I feel like 60-year-old lady doesn't want to be fucking around anymore.
That's not true. Because this is the second thing I want to talk about.
Oh yeah, well the people that are having the most sex are people in old people homes. They're out here wilding.
I have heard about that.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Dude, if you're like somehow okay looking silver fox, bro.
Yeah. But I feel like, because after women go through like menopause and all that, like their sex drive, I've read goes way down, and so I feel like guys are gonna be dogs till the day we die.
Imagine when Jeff Goldblum goes to the old folks home.
Dude,
the day when Jeff Goldblum goes to old folks home,
he's gonna get everybody pregnant. They're all gonna have dinosaurs. You know,
everyone will be pregnant in the old folks home. Speaking of that, I think you're right. I think older women are still, very much active, and this is something I've been following in the past few months because to me it's hilarious, and it's nationwide, Keanu Reeves scams are on the rise.
Keanu Reeves scams?
Romance scams,
where they think they're dating Keanu Reeves.
Yes,
that's
but
crazy.
Specifically Keanu Reeves. And if you read the news, if you watch the news, there are women from California, from Colorado, from Arkansas. There's an Arkansas woman nearly sold her house to move in with Keanu Reeves in LA.
Yeah.
And these things are crazy because first it proves a few things. First of all, it proves that Keanu Reeves is the number one sex god among women over the age of 50 to 65. Like that's the proof, because the scammers, they don't use Ryan Gosling, they don't use Brad Pitt, it's all Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Right? And what happened is they will like set up those online profiles and they'll chat with the lady, right? And then have them drop their guards and whatever, and then they would be asking for $50 Walgreens card or Western Union card.
That's crazy. That just makes me a little sad in the sense of like, I feel like us as a society are so desperate for connection that we'll like believe anything.
And this one woman, her case is just both sad and hilarious. This woman is from Vista, California. Like, she looks like, if you watch the news, I'm gonna link a picture here, she looks like she needs help and she's lonely. So she basically, like, she's living in her car now because the scammer who pretended to be Keanu Reeves just took all the money. Like, she's sending the Keanu Reeves money. So what happened is someone...
Why would Keanu Reeves need money?
I know, but there's one woman, that Arkansas woman, she sold her house. All her family's like, Mom, this is a scam. Stop. She's like, no, Keanu really
he loves me.
Yeah, and then there's this interviewer who's like, okay, if I show you the statement from Keanu Reeves' PR team saying he doesn't have social media accounts, it's all a scam, would you believe it? She's like, Keanu loves me.
Yeah.
Like, the California woman, I'm sorry to cut you off, the kind of California woman, the one that looks unwell. So what happened is someone pretended to be Keanu Reeves, chatted with her, and then she's like, hey, send me a $50 gift card. And then she did, and the guy just like disappeared or whatever, and she's really upset. So she posted on like Facebook or Twitter saying, holy shit, I got scammed by someone who pretended to be Keanu Reeves. And then someone commented, say, oh my God, I'm so sorry this happened to you. I'm actually Keanu Reeves. I'm so sorry this piece of shit is pretending to be me. You seem like a very nice woman. And they start chatting. Obviously, this guy is also a scammer. And he managed to scam more money from her. So
that's just sad. I feel like there has to be a combination of being lonely and just a little bit of mental health stuff. Because I like a normal, capable person, I feel like will sniff that out real easily.
Yeah, but let me ask you this question: if someone want to scam men, right, like middle-aged men, who do you think they should pretend to be to have the highest success rate? Who's the Keanu Reeves among scammers if they want to target men?
Right now, I'm thinking somebody young, but it would probably have to be someone a little older.
Why?
Because like, what's that girl's name? The one from Euphoria. The one that's really popular
Sydney
right now?
something.
Sweeney, yeah.
Sweeney with the big.
Yeah. I feel like that's for like more of the younger generations, but
But the thing is, like, if guys are older,
you said her, the Scarlett Johansson, baby?
Scarlett Johansson.
She's.
Hey, look out! If Scarlett Johansson asks you for $50 gift card, it's probably not Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, definitely not.
Who will scam you? If I want to scam you, like, obviously you're very smart, but like to have the highest success rate,
it has to be a Latina for sure.
Oh, it has to be a Latina. Okay.
Yeah, I dated around from like junior high and high school. I kind of like dated multiple races, but after high school, the only race I've dated is Latina. So it would have to be like a Salma Hayek, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's old.
Hey, she's still 50s. Bad. She still can get it, you know?
Okay.
But if she was alive, for me, it'd be Selena, for sure.
Selena Gomez?
No, Selena.
Who's that? Sorry, that sounds so
stupid. Selena, she was a singer. She got murdered in 1995.
Oh. But I can't pretend to be dead.
That's why I said if she was alive, for me, it'd be Selena.
This is my scheme. You know, a lot of conspiracy theories is like, Tupac is still alive.
Oh, yeah. Nah, he
so
definitely
it's like, hey, I'm Selena. I'm still alive.
Yeah, I'd be like, you're full of shit.
You know? Yeah. Send me a $50 gift card to get me out of this quagmire. Wow. That's so interesting.
I'm Selena and I'm broke, but I'm alive. Yeah, she was my first celebrity crush.
Oh.
Selena, yeah.
How did she die?
She got killed by the president of her fan club.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because she was stealing money from her company and they were like basically firing her. And then she had like paperwork that they needed. So she went to collect that and she ended up shooting her at a hotel in Texas. She's from Texas. How
was she related to her fan club? I thought those things are supposed to be independent.
Well, this was in 1995.
Okay.
And Selena got so popular so fast that in a way they kind of didn't have a way to vet her, and they were just like, "What?" She was like, "I'm a big fan. I'll run the fan club for free. You don't have to pay me."
Okay.
And they gave her an opportunity, and she kind of like got into their and then they gave her more responsibilities, and she turned out to be like a big ass like stalker. Like she had like pictures of her in her house, Jesus. Like whole rooms of. Yeah, she's actually trying to get paroled right now. But she's probably safer in jail than being outside because she's definitely going to get murdered if she gets released.
Selena. I've never heard of that name.
Really?
No.
Yeah, she was.
Was she active in the 90s? Early 2000s?
Yeah, so basically Selena was the original like Jennifer Lopez or the Beyonce.
Okay.
She would have been.
Like a diva.
Yeah, she would have been like as big as.
No J-Lo for you?
J-Lo, I've heard.
Are you Mexican or?
Yeah, Mexican.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean she played Selena actually. Jennifer played Selena in like the biopic of her.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fitting, like you said.
And she was built like her. Like she had a. That's why I like booties, maybe.
She's fat, PHAT.
Yeah, she was nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't like skinny, like women who are too skinny.
Yeah, I don't mind. Petite is kind of like my thing, but like
you gotta have some meat on the bones.
Yeah, I like petite, but with bubble butts.
What about those like high fashion models?
Nah,
that looks like they haven't been eaten for days.
Nah, I'm good. Like a Kendall Jenner type body.
No, even Kendall Jenner, I feel like is fit. Like I don't know if you've ever go like online shopping for like some high fashion brand. I'm not talking about Target or Zara or whatever. I'm talking about those like brands and then all their model. The higher the price tag for the clothing, the more emaciated. Their models all look like they're like refugees.
I like a little something. Like I like petite women, but they have to have something, you know.
Yeah.
Like some. Yeah.
Did you go to college?
No.
Did you go to high school?
Yeah, but I didn't finish high school.
You didn't finish high school?
Nah, I was like, why am I doing this?
You know what's funny? I saw a sign when I'm driving. It says, "You can do anything with a high school diploma."
Yeah.
I was like, I can think of a few things you can do.
Yeah.
Even with a high school diploma. For
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, for me, I think I realized while I was in school where I was like, I'm not going to need any of this shit. And then I was getting in fights with my teachers a lot because I was like correcting shit that they were wrong about.
Oh, you had the mouth on you.
Yeah, and they didn't like that. So I always had issues with my teachers. And I was basically just going to high school to pick up women. And I was like, I'm good. So I was like, I'm just going to stop and get a job.
How did that go? Very successful?
Nah, not really. That's probably one of my biggest regrets. Looking back. Yeah. Just not so much because of what I can't get from it, but just more the experience of it, like actually finishing and accomplishing something. And because I feel like there's not too many things that in my life personally that I've really like accomplished or that I've finished. And so I feel like I probably should have finished that.
Finish high school.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. This brings up to the last topic I want to talk about. I've read it on the news saying right now women actually make up like about 60 to 62% of all college students.
Oh, for sure.
So there's like, you know, every time when people brought up about it, they're like, you're a men's rights activist or whatever. But there are actually men's rights activists pointing something out. It's like boys are failing at school. So I think this stats is from like in the 1972, men are like 13% more likely to get a college degree than women. But today, women are 15% more likely to get a college degree than men.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that.
And then there's this one university called University of Vermont. 62% of freshmen is all women. What's funny is they have a gender equality center.
And they're trying to get men.
Yeah, initially it's for like women's rights when it was set up years ago.
Yeah.
Now that office has been used to get more men into college, and they set up like a men's scholarship just to encourage more men to get into college. But that's a very interesting phenomenon. But in the meantime, after men and women getting to the workplace, you still see like most company execs and people who are making big money are men. But I see the same phenomenon in China too.
Really?
Yeah. Even when I was a kid, like I remember I'm trying to get into like a good like junior high, like an elite, I wouldn't say elite, like an advanced level international junior high. What they do is they do testing, you know, and then if you score like a certain score, you can get in. It's merit based. Yeah. So they want to keep the ratio between men and women or boys and girls to 1 to 1. So what happened is if you are a boy, you only need to score 55 out of 100 to get in. If you're a girl, because girls score higher than boys, just by a landslide, the score is like 72 out of 100. I didn't get in. I'm one point.
Really? You're like, I should have had a dick.
I know, like that's I was. When was the junior high? Like 13 years old. That's the first time I realized like this is not fair. Like how come they got in? So they want to keep the ratio. I'm like, how come there's a different like scores for men and women? It's supposed to be the same. Like if I have a boy, I'm way over 55. They're like, nah, you're a girl. Girls are doing better.
Do you think that's kind of a side effect of like China's past, like the one-child policy and all that, in the sense of like I feel like women didn't have as many rights and stuff, so now they're like, shit, now we're gonna get in.
Yeah, that
so
is
they're like, nah, we're
that's definitely one of the things. If you're like I'm the only child, if you're a girl and you're only child, you know, a lot of things are against you, and you really like trying to prove yourself. And I remember like I grew up in a family that's like, my relatives are really like sexist. I have this cousin, his mother is just like, she's always so proud because she has a boy. My dad, because she's married to my dad's brother, and my dad only has me. So you know what I mean? So every time when there's a Chinese New Year or whatever get together, it's like a competition. Yeah. And she's always feels so fucking proud. Like, I have a boy and you have a girl. Yeah. And when we started getting to school, like my cousin, nice guy, by the way. I'm not trying to shit on him. I'm just telling the truth. Like my score is just way higher than him. And then I remember his mom would keep saying, you know what? That's normal. You know, once we get into junior high, she's gonna fucking suck and he's gonna soar. That's just the thing with boys. They just want to play now. You know, once they set their mind to it, they're doing way better than girls. Yeah. Getting to junior high, still way better than him. And then get into high, and she's like, you know what? This is just the things with boys. Once we get into high school, you know, she's just gonna fail, and all the boys, they're just gonna soar. Like, just wait till high school. Yeah. He didn't even get into high school. Really? He didn't have the grades to get into high school.
Oh, you gotta like get a certain.
Yeah, you have to get a certain grades to get in. He went to a vocational high school. It's like a blue collar high school, and like a trade school. Yeah. And I went to a real, and then she just shut up about it.
Did your dad ever was like, well, you just have a dumbass.
You
have a dumbass.
You know what's
boy.
that? My dad's like, yeah, I wish I have a boy.
Really? That's crazy. I have 6 sisters.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that I have 6 sisters is because my mom wanted another boy.
That happens so
and she just kept
common.
trying and trying. So I have this joke now where I'm like, yeah, we're hard to make, bro.
I know.
She like realized my value the more women she had. She was like, this one's valuable.
You know what's so crazy? Because my generation is one child only, right? But before, like my mom's generation, you can have multiple kids in China. So there's a time it's just like America. You have multiple kids.
Yeah.
My mom told me she has a neighbor, and it's very weird. They have 11 sisters, elder sisters, and 1 young boy. What do you think happened?
It reversed in the next
No,
generation?
in reverse, just like you. But they tried 11
times.
They had a boy at the 12. What is the odd? This guy should buy a lottery.
Yeah.
And then it's just so bad. He's like, my mom was like, yeah, I have this neighbor. And the wife, it's always pregnant. I never remember she not being pregnant.
Yeah.
You should just keep having kids. It's like, okay, holy shit, it's a girl again. Let's keep trying. Let's keep trying. 11 years in a row, 12th year, finally they got a boy. And the way they treat the daughters are just atrocious. Yeah. The daughters don't even have names. Their name is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's crazy.
Oh, I'm serious.
Yo, that's crazy.
Till 11 in winter time, they will wear like plastic sandals or like shoes that's like glue is broke off, so it's like broken half. That's open. We call it crocodile shoes.
Yeah.
Like back in China with poor people.
That's just sad.
And the boy has a real name. And then what I've heard is when the boy grew up to be the age that he can get married, all the 11 elder sister pulled their like money together, like got him a house, got him a dowry
really?
for
they
a
didn't
wife.
resent him.
No, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's funny. The reason I say it switched because that's what happened in my family. So my mom has 2 sisters and they each have 1 son and the rest are girls.
Yeah.
And then my generation, so my sisters and my cousins, they're all having boys now.
Yeah.
Like there's not very many girls in our next generation, but there's a lot of boys. So like it like flipped.
It kind of flipped.
Yeah.
How are your sisters doing?
Good. They're good.
Were they better at school than you? Just jumping off this topic. Not really.
This is gonna sound, but I'm probably like the smartest of us. Yeah, I definitely. I
suck up all the nutrients in the world.
I took everything. It's just like for me, I just kind of got the best of both my parents. Like my dad is really, really smart and my mom is like the good looking one. So I got my dad's brain and my mom's looks. So I kind of like came
Whose
perfect.
personality did you inherit?
My very own.
Your very own?
I'm not.
You're not like your parent at all?
I'm
oh
not.
My God.
I'm very like both my parents are kind of like quiet. They're not very. I mean, I've been kind of quiet, but I always had this thing where I realized that I was just an entertainer. I just was like too scared to entertain when I was younger. Yeah. But now I'm like, I think this is what I was meant to do, to entertain people.
So how's your career going out for you so far?
Cool. I mean,
how many years are you in?
Into stand-up?
Yeah.
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. I've seen you. So when I first saw you, you just got started then. Because I remember you for like about that time, yeah.
Yeah, I started in 2001, December 2001.
You said 3 years.
Yeah, 2021. Okay. I always say 2001. I always math do that.
Math is not mathing.
yeah, no, 2021. Sorry, right after COVID, kind of like when they were.
So I must have seen you when you just got started because I remember you being around for a minute.
Yeah, no. December was 3 years for me. Yeah.
How did you like
good.
it?
I mean,
bitter. Everyone's bitter.
Oh no, my career is kind of going way faster than most people, so I feel like I'm making people bitter in a way, and I've kind of experienced that already. Yeah.
Okay, what do you mean?
Like one of the times that I once said of the night mic at the Comedy Store, they keyed my car that night.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Okay, just to play devil's advocate, are you sure?
Yeah.
Comics did it.
I mean, I went from there to another mic.
Yeah.
And then it was on my driver's side. Yeah. So I was like, because the second club that I went to, I used to park my car kind of on the curb, like on a like a driveway. So I would park a little bit on the sidewalk. So like in a way, I'd be like, all right, if someone was like, fuck this car, why is it so parked on the curb? They would have keyed the passenger side, but it was the driver's side. And I was like washing my car like every other day back then, because where I parked, there's a dryer vent.
Yeah.
So it like dusts up my car like within a day or two. So I was like always washing my car, and I know it wasn't there. Wow. And then I just drove. I was like, what? It was like long. So someone's like really
fuck
bitter. This like, guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
yeah. This. So I'm like, all right, it is what it is. Whatever.
Wow. Do you have a dash cam?
Nah.
I hope I know who it is. Let's shame this guy.
Yeah, no,
or
I
a girl.
never.
I think it's a guy.
It probably is not. But
do you have some? Not gonna name names, but do you have like some suspects in your mind?
Nah, not really. No? Nah. I mean, I never really understood it, because I try to be cool with everybody.
Yeah.
But definitely, and
I've get it, because you're always so smiley. Like,
yeah, I try to be cool with everybody.
Like, I have a few enemies, but I got it coming, because I'm not a smiley person.
Well, that's why I'm just gonna shut the fuck up and not say anything. Like, in the sense of like some of my accomplishments, because there's people that have been doing stand up for 10, 12 years that I've already passed them in a way.
But some of them suck.
Yeah.
Some of them are actually good. Yeah. There are a few odd cases when I'm like, why haven't anything happened to you? Because there are a few people who I think are really good, and then they just get stuck.
From what I see, especially at the big clubs, it's like they're looking for very specific things. So like, let's say you're just another average white guy that's really funny. Mm-hmm. They have 10 of those that are already more famous than funny. You. Yeah. So like, you have to have something really unique to offer nowadays. Yeah. Unless you circumvent that through social media and you blow up on social media, then you're gonna get in regardless. But if you're trying to take the traditional route, you have to have something unique to offer. So, and then for me, it's like my perspective through my chair. So
that goes down to the last time I talked to you, I was like, hey Daniel, do you worried like you always talk about being on a chair on stage? And you're like, but my whole life, most of my life is on a chair. I see the world from the perspective sitting on a chair. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's so profound. Yeah. I guess I see the whole world with my Chinese eyes. It's all ultra wide with like 2 black bars.
But I feel like most people that like fat guys, they talk about being fat. Bald guys talk about being bald. Because like that's your like if I experience anything, it's through my chair. Yeah. If I meet somebody new, I was in my chair. If I go to a new place, I was in my chair. So I experienced that through my chair. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard to like separate those things. But I have been thinking about it, and I think when I film my special, it's gonna be like 30%, 50% of it is gonna be stuff about my chair, and 50% is gonna be stuff like before my injury. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm gonna try to make a combination of those two things.
I mean, I wish you success, because I think there's going to be a demographic.
For sure. I mean, I for sure. I mean, I fit a few, so I feel like the standard regular audience that everybody's going to get. Mm-hmm. But I also get like the Latin community, because I do jokes in Spanish as well.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Holy shit. Get the disabled community, which is one of the biggest growing communities in the United States. That's
kind of sad.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think
for like, it's usually wrong to say, I hope this group of people they're fewer and fewer of them.
For
but this is
100%.
One group, like, please be fewer.
Yeah, like it always makes me sad finding
why is that?
Why is what?
You said that the disabled people are the biggest, highest growing community in the US.
It's like a crazy number. I think it's like, it might not be, but I think it's like 200,000 people get injured every year and become disabled, because the most common injury is car accidents.
Oh, and that's on the rise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, more and more people are driving. So yeah, that's like a lot of people get injured through car accidents.
So that's number one. And then what's like getting shot?
Sports, violence in general. Because you could get paralyzed from getting stabbed in the spinal cord, or falls. It's like a few different things that can can put you in a chair. So it is one of like the biggest active communities of people that's getting bigger every year.
You know what's crazy? Like, ever since I talked to you that time at the store, I'm researching like disability insurance. I'm not kidding. I'm talking to brokers now.
There is
really. You basically they calculate the premium based on your current income. And if you are disabled, they were going to pay like, I think like 65 to 70% of your income for the rest of your life till you're 65.
Oh, that's crazy.
But as an exchange, you pay like it's like car insurance. It could be if you're not disabled ever, that money just goes down the drain.
Yeah.
But that's what the insurance is for.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Social Security is for as well.
Is that sufficient for you to make a living?
Nah, hell nah. Like for me, I think it depends on what your income was before you got injured, and I just had basic jobs.
Yeah.
For the time that I was working. So
can you give me, without talking about specific numbers, can you give me a breakdown of what's so SSDI, right?
Yeah.
It's like because this is very new to me. I'm very interested to know more about this.
Mm-hmm.
What is the government benefits for someone who's disabled? How many types and what's the percentage? How
there's Social Security where you've worked all your life, you retire, and then you get some of that back every month. And then there's Social Security disability, which is if you become disabled in the United States for whatever reason, they'll send you a check basically, and they base that, I think, off your income, like I said. And I had a basic job, so I'm basically getting like $1,200 a month.
That's not.
I mean, yeah, you can't live off that in California for sure, not by yourself.
How do people get by then?
A lot of people struggle, and then you get trapped in this situation where I have Medicare and Medi-Cal, so they cover all my medical expenses.
That's, thank God, yes.
Yeah, but if you make a certain level income, that goes away, and your disability goes away. So you have to like be making bank to support yourself, because just in like the supplies that I get every month that they cover is over $1,000. Like catheters and... Okay,
so correct me, I'm getting confused here. You said you get $1,200 from SSDI.
Mm-hmm.
And for Social Security, I think that's for people over the age of 65.
65, yeah.
But do you get it?
Mm-mm. I did like the first year or something. I was getting like 2 checks, but one of them was like $40 or something.
$40. So mainly you're relying on SSDI, which is $1,200.
Yeah.
But you're saying if you make too much money, that goes away?
Yeah.
What's too much money?
It's I think it depends on if you're like single and married, but I think if you make over like 25,000 in 1 year,
that's insane.
Yeah,
you can't even live on 25,000 in California
unless you're like have family and like roommates, and like it's almost impossible.
So if you make more than $25,000 a year, you don't get. Do you have like a prorated?
So what happens? It
goes away immediately.
No, so they give you like a little bit of wiggle room, where I think like if you make over, so they give you like 3 years to make as much income as you want, and you still have your
full benefits.
Yeah, but after 3 years, it's gone. So you really need to make a lot of money, or get like a job where you're making a lot of money, or that's
the only. Do they count like assets? Let's say if you inherit a house from your family, do they say, oh, now you have this house, we're not going to pay you anything?
think there's ways to get around it, where you can there's certain things you can do to kind of like still get that house and then keep your benefits, but it's definitely gonna have to talk to a lawyer about it.
It just sounds like the government wants you to struggle.
I mean, in a way, I feel like they do. I don't even know if it's the government, but definitely like I was taking pills for almost 10 years. And those companies want me to keep, taking those pills. And I use catheters. And then the catheter company obviously wants me paralyzed so I could keep using that. So
what's a catheter?
It's like, I don't feel the same way you feel like when you need to go to the bathroom. I get like my blood pressure goes up.
Okay.
So my body kind of tells me, and then I can't just like go to the bathroom and like pee. I have to like stick. It's like a tube.
Okay.
With my bladder.
Gotcha.
So it's like a bag, and it catches it, and then you just dump it in.
To help you. Okay. Go to the
bathroom. Yeah.
So
I need one. I use a catheter maybe like 5-6 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and each one, a box of catheters of 30 catheters is like over $100. Is
that not covered by the medical insurance?
It is.
Okay.
So just imagine though I had to pay that out of pocket.
Right.
Without So
thank God that's all covered by the government.
But I have to stay under a certain income level.
The medical insurance also costs money if you make too much.
Yeah, you have to get medical insurance if you make too much, because Medicare and Medi-Cal won't cover that anymore.
Okay, let's say you get a job and you're making $50K a year. Not crazy. That's still not crazy number in California. It's like you're getting by. What would go away for you?
Everything. I would have to get medical insurance.
How much would that cost for your situation?
I'm not. I've never looked into it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I'm paying I can tell you how much I'm paying, like $350 for like the dog shit Browns plan. That's like deductible. It's $7,500.
That's crazy.
It's like you have to pay. You know what I mean? And they don't cover dog shit. That's $350 a month. I assume yours is gonna be way more if you pay.
No, I think because of my disability, I think they'll probably
subsidize. Okay.
Yeah, something where the government will be like, okay, well, we'll try to help you. Yeah, but it's definitely like there is a big we were talking about forums and support groups. Like that's one of the big conversations that there is in those of like, how are you guys surviving? Like, how are you guys making it?
How do people survive?
They have roommates and they live with families and
I do want to know the rate, right? For example, if you're making like $5,000 a month before you're disabled, and then you're disabled, how much money are you gonna get from SSDI, roughly?
I don't know, but it's definitely more than $1,200. Like I have a buddy that broke his neck, and he had a government job.
Okay.
So he was making he still lives there now. He lives in one of the high rises in downtown. Yeah. And he's been living there before he was injured, like over 15 years now, probably.
Yeah.
And he can still afford that through his disability. So he's definitely getting a lot more than I was, but his income was a lot higher than mine was.
If he has a government job, chances are he has an employer-sponsored disability insurance. That's something people don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure with him, but I mean,
God,
he's definitely making more than $1,200 a month off his.
Are you afraid financially? Do you have that fear?
Yeah, I mean, like right now, after I got divorced and everything, I ended up moving back with my dad, and he's about to retire and move back to Mexico in a few months. Okay. So I'm gonna be responsible for, like.
But does he leave anything for you or?
Nah.
He's your own brother.
Yeah. I mean, I'm about to be 40. You know, like I can't depend on.
And I know you're doing well in comedy, but they don't.
Yeah, it's like I'm just starting to get like consistent paid jobs, but it's like $50 here, $100 there. So it's like like I said, I was Ubering before they crashed my car, and like if you
do you have full coverage for your car?
Yeah, you have.
Okay, that's good.
Because I was financing the car. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But when I say full coverage, I mean when you get stolen or totaled, they will still, because if you only have liability.
No, I have full coverage. Okay. You have to, when you're financing a car, you have to have full coverage insurance.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and if you're doing like ride share or stuff like that, and you're working, it's a little bit more. You have to pay a little bit more, because you're covering. So right now you're driving like a rental car, right? No, I'm driving my sister's car. She just has an extra car. Are you gonna get another car and do Uber? Yeah, probably next month. I'm probably gonna get the same car, but a few years newer. Yeah. Yeah, because I really like that car.
What car is it?
I had a 2019 Honda Accord.
Oh, you like Honda?
Yeah, I mean, I had.
Hey, die in a Honda. Don't die in a Porsche. It sounds like you love Honda.
No, yeah, I do. Hey, I was loyal. So I had a Honda Accord. I got it a few months after my injury, and I had it for 16 years.
And
it was still going.
Just like maintenance, just regular maintenance. Yeah, but Japanese cars.
I could have kept it. The body of it was kind of, the motor was still. It still could have gone another 100, 200,000 miles.
Yeah, Japanese cars, they last.
Yeah, 100%. So I was like, I have no complaints about Honda, so I'm just gonna get another one. And then my brother-in-law works for Honda as well, so.
Wow. Yeah. If you can manifest something and make it true, what's the top 3 to end this episode? What's the top 3 wishes that you have? Don't say world peace. Nah. You don't give a shit about world peace. I'm gonna be greedy with them,
you know. No, the main thing is I just want to have a successful comedy career and put out a special and really have like the real comedy, you know. Basically all the people that are doing this, like their goal, I want that, you know, like touring and stadiums, the whole 9. And then I just want to be able to like financially take care of my family, you know, like my sisters, and then like that would be my ultimate goal, to kind of like be able to take care of them. And to walk again someday, you know, like, yo, hey, I'm gonna be greedy with it, you know. Fuck world peace, man. That doesn't exist. That's never gonna be a thing. We're always gonna have Israel issues.
Israel and Palestine's gonna fight, but make this man walk again.
Yeah. I'll take that.
Well, at the end of the episode, do you want to plug anything like social media? Or
yeah, you can find me. Most of my social media is D Alvarez TV, DALVAREZ TV, and you know, I'm starting to. Hopefully gonna be touring soon, and I'm putting out skits and stuff like that online. So check out, support your boy.
Yeah, support your boy.
I have a Netflix audition on the 30th at the Ice House. If you guys want to check that out, if this comes out before that,
if it's gonna come out on the 30th.
Well, I had an audition. Hopefully, it went well. Yeah,
I'm sure it will go well. You know.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Nice talking to you. It's really nice.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
For sure.
Neuralink. Bye.